So this height of cut gauge here for reel mowers costs about $90. And depending on how much time or skill you have, you could make this yourself if you wanted to. So how I would start is by getting a bar, something from this pile right here. This is all just scrap sitting in my garage, but maybe something shorter. I mean, there's one right here I can clean up perfectly, about the right length. Just like that. And you can get whatever dimensions or thicknesses you want. If you're not familiar with metalworking and you're in DFW, I'll give you a quick rundown of where I would get something like this. On the north side of Fort Worth, I would go to Core-Mark Metals. On the south side of Fort Worth, I would go to Short Iron, but it's in the same commercial plaza or address as metal supermarkets, which is kind of expensive, but both are going to have, it's not going to be expensive when you're just buying, 2 feet. Both will have what you need. And then over near Dallas, I like Metals For You or Metals For You online. They ship, but it's way cheaper if you go in person. And if you're not in DFW, you can just order online from like onlinemetals.com. So get yourself a bar like this. You'll need some tools. I've got a cheap drill press here. You don't necessarily need it. You can just use a regular drill. You're gonna need some half decent bits to go through steel. This version is aluminum, but we're talking about cost savings, so we're gonna go with steel. There's benefits to aluminum, but if you're looking to do this for 20 bucks, definitely go with steel. You'll wanna clean up the metal with some acetone and then take a flap disc and just clean off all the rust, or you can also use a wire wheel. And then your cheapest way to cut it is gonna be with a cutoff disc like that. You don't want to use a wood miter saw for this, but I love my Evolution chop saw. You can use this for metal. Pop in whatever length you want. And then once you got that to length, pick out some angle iron, something like this. And you'll just take off like, a ½ inch, like a centimeter, and then get yourself a dial gauge like this from Harbor Freight or Amazon or somewhere, and you'll see it has an eye on the back. And so we're just gonna make one bracket. You can do just the one bracket, fix it on. You can do that with a TIG welder. I love my Yes welder here. A MIG welder, you don't need either. You can just drill right through it. But another option, if you don't want to drill through it, you don't have a welder, just use some JB Weld. And then once you have the angle iron on here, you can mount it up, and then you'll just need to make sure you drill a hole through so that the plunger can go through. And then you need to buy this little contact point is an M2.5 thread. I posted the video to buy that in my last video.